Welcome to Fishing Britain. This week I take on the 120 challenge in Southwest Wales. We've got the old favourites Hooked on YouTube and Fishing Britain News. But first, yes, we're off sea fishing. Charlie's gone all the way to Liverpool. He's going out on the good ship Discovery. And he tells me there's a mystery guest on board.
Stress is a major killer in the developed world, so let me reassure you now, you aren't going to see fish caught like this, and this, and this. However, when I meet Gary Flint, Captain Flint, in the car park of a marina in Liverpool, he is stressed.
So, no worms going?
No worms, yes. Still waiting.
I don't want you to feel stressed on his behalf. Nor is this the best time of year to go out. Gary explains what we're after.
Flounder, yeah, with possibility of flounder. We had 4 or 5 the other day when we were out. Plenty of dabs. A lot of whiting, pin whiting, a small whiting. The occasional rate of about £7, £8. We get good soap in the summer from late May on to, well, last year it was till late August. We get them up to £60, £70. Wow. Regularly going out getting maybe 7 or 8 on the boat, plus 15 or 16 runs.
What was your smallest take last year?
The smallest last year was £38 that we landed. Winter's the icing on the cake for us because the cod fishing, I'd say, is one of the best places in the UK. Here in the Mersey.
It's supposed to be the English Channel.
No, this is like very, very good. We have 10 boats, something like that, running from here in the winter. We have the boats from Wales coming in because the fishing's that good in the Mersey.
At last, the bait arrives. Then it's time to set off out of the marina. There's a lock system here. It opens 2 hours before high tide and 2 hours after, so you have to time your trips perfectly. This duck with her 2 ducklings is risking everything by joining the queue. The other boats take no prisoners, but she and the babies make it. Boat fishing is often a long chug out to a point where you can't see land. Not in Liverpool. We drop anchor within sight of the 3 Graces, the Royal Liver Building, the Cunard Building and the Port of Liverpool Building, just out of the main shipping lane. And Gary is able to talk about his bait.
Yeah, right, bait we've got today. We're targeting dabs, flounders, thornback rays. We've got squid for the thornback rays. We've got peeler crab. We've got razorfish, mackerel, and we've also got prawns to top them with. The baits we've already made up, the crab are already bound with elastic to make them easy to go on the hook. We've also got fresh black lug, which is behind you, and we've got live ragworm for the place. We tend to find the place feed more on the rag, and we have the crab for flounder. Dabs will literally scratch at anything, so we tend to use worm and tip it with a bit of mackerel or tip it with a bit of squid. And that's basically it. It's a case of getting the lines in the water and away we go.
It's not long before the rod tips start twitching. We are into the whiting in a big way.
Definitely not a British record. Mick, if you got your discordia, you know, you would.
We also start catching dab, but not many of a keepable size. What's a keepable fish here?
20 centimetres for a dab. The biggest dab caught is, what is it, Mick? £2.9 in the UK?
£2.9 is the biggest.
And what's the Irish one?
£2.5.
And who was the Irish one?
I think his name's Mickey Duff. I'm not quite sure. Mickey Duff, anyway.
Very funny. The truth is, this is Mickey Duff, and he holds the Irish dab record.
I was fishing with lugworm and ragworm on the flowing trace, and well, it just took the bait and went, and that was it. I didn't even know it was a dab. I didn't even know it was a record till we got it back on shore.
You must have known it was a big fish.
I knew it was a big fish, yeah. Yeah, but I didn't think it was a record.
And you got it on shore. How did the locals react?
They were amazed. They'd never seen anything like it.
So if you were out in the Mersey, where's the best place to fish? Gary explains the layout of the shipping channel.
We're in the rock channel at the moment. The fish obviously are scattered all over here. They're just dabs and whiting at the moment. But we have the main channel round to the left where the ships are coming in. That's called the Queen's Channel. And that's got a wall either side of it, which retains the sand back, which they built it with many, many barges, which are, the empty barges are dumped out at sea now. But that travels roughly from the lighthouse there, right the way round to the wind farm, which is over here. Managed both sides, does a cracking job retaining the sand back. It's good for the fish.
Now, the elderly rock star who takes up angling is a bit of a cliche. So perhaps it is unsurprising that this boat has its own rock star. He needs no introduction, except maybe this. Can we have a word, please? That's good. Okay, all right, I understand. Lynn, obviously, you know, he's been on the boat a lot. Does he have any special dietary requirements?
No, not really. He'll just eat anything, really.
He doesn't care. He'll have a bit of both, because he's special.
He's been quite healthy since the 70s, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's probably brown.
I've met him, yeah.
Is he a nice guy?
He's a nice guy, yeah. He's spot on.
Good angler?
Good angler, yeah. He enjoys himself. Every time he comes out, he really enjoys himself. Just let himself go, just like one of the boys.
Now you may have noticed that this boat has more than a normal number of Daiwa stickers on board. That is because, like us, it is sponsored by the Scotland-based fishing tackle company. Daiwa's Nick Hill explains two of the staple rods for the sea fishing market.
Well, this is a Procaster spinning rod from Daiwa, very versatile rod, which can be used today as we are in the estuary and the sea fishing. It can also be used for pike fishing, perhaps on a lake or canal. This one is a Kenzaki, one of Daiwa's most high-profile boat rods. It's generally shorter, with thicker balls in the rod and stiffer, giving you more power when fishing.
After pulling up dozens of fish, including this dogfish, it's time to move. We head upriver, just off the city centre. There's a special technique to this kind of fishing.
Okay, at the moment we're up tiding, which is what we do a lot in the Mersey. As you can see now, Mickey's going to cast out, and if you watch where his weight goes, his weight will go upside of the boat and out to the side. Once it hits the bottom, it's now outside the scare zone, it will come back with the tide and the weight will hit the bottom and grip the bottom, and he'll let slack line out so that the weight is pulled down tide, which will hold bottom. If a fish then, once he winds the slack line in that he's let there, he'll just take some slack in, put the bail arm on, put it in the rest, and the rod naturally will bend over with the run on it. If anything touches it, if you look at the end of my tip, if anything touched this rod now, the rod will spring up or will go down, and 9 times out of 10 it will hook the fish itself.
Now Gary is pessimistic about our chances of catching a thorny. But whatever Gary thinks, we do it. The old maid comes aboard, and that marks the end of a glorious day out on the Mersey.
Right lads, wind in, that's it, it's finished, day over.
It's back to the lock, exactly 2 hours after high tide. Gary is not, however, limited only to 4-hour trips. If you want to go fishing with him, visit discoverycharters.co.uk. So Gary reckons this is the wrong time of year, the fishing's terrible, and we should have been here last week, or next week, or any week. The lads don't agree with him. And for one of the lads, this is the only time he can really be himself. It is no exaggeration to say that sea angling saved his life.
Well, what an absolute honour it was to have such an illustrious rock star on board. And if his music has changed your life, please post a comment below. Now, from a spandex-clad 70s superstar to our very own leather-clad porn star, here's David with the news.
This is Fishing Britain News. There's a rich news source of fishing heritage online.
British Pathé has uploaded tens of thousands of films from its archive to YouTube, and among them are some fabulous fishing films. This one shows wounded soldiers fishing at Hastings in East Sussex during the First World War. Other films include coracle fishing from 1934, a sea fishing festival in Sydney, Australia from 1941, and colour film of salmon fishing on the River Tweed at Kelso in Scotland. About 1,000 fish, mostly trout, have been found dead in Northern Ireland. They were discovered in the Una River near Dungannon in County Tyrone. The Northern Ireland Environment Agency said pollution in the water had been classified as high severity. In February, magistrates fined a local farmer £1,000 for polluting a stretch of the nearby Clagan River. Do you recognise this stolen fishing gear? Devon and Cornwall Police, executing a search warrant under the Theft Act at an address in Paignton, seized it last month. A group of beach casters from Florida have hooked and landed what could be the biggest fish ever caught from shore in the USA. Joey Polk and his two cousins Ernie Polk and Kenny Peterson battled an 11-foot, 805-pound mako shark for more than an hour before hauling it on shore. Ernie holds the previous mako record of 730 pounds. The Polk family normally release their catches and have helped local groups tag hundreds for conservation. However, this shark was too tired after the epic battle, and to avoid wasting him, the trio enjoyed their catch at a jumbo-sized family barbecue. And finally, this kayaker had a surprise when he hooked an alligator. The animal towed the fisherman in what the Americans call an Alabama sleigh ride. You are now up to date with Fishing Britain News. Fishing for facts, landing the stories.
Thank you, David. Only joking. He wasn't a porn star. He was actually in catalogues. And we've got proof. Now it's time for the Target Challenge, and this week's contender was last week catching brownies for fun on the River Taff. Let's see how he gets on.
It's time to bring out the target, and on our reasonably priced seat box this week, it's this guy.
Mark Williams, and I'm here to take the challenge.
It's the Fishing Britain Target Challenge. Go! So, as a quick recap, what we need to do is throw a beanbag into the centre of the target, cut one in using a long wobbly pole, chuck a little plug into the centre, and flick some fluff using a fly rod, which is what Mark should be best at. He's already got the beanbag into the centre on his third chuck, and he's now on the long wobbly pole, which has been a little bit alien for him as he is a fly fishing champion. He's represented Wales 6 times, 4 times in the Lochstyle International and 2 times on the rivers. What a boy. He's got this long pole coming out nicely and slowly. Is he going to take it off the end without it dropping off? Up it goes, and down comes the beanbag. Schoolboy error every time. It doesn't matter who you are, you've got to get your technique down. So hopefully we should get some match anglers on this and they should be able to show us how it's done. But he's doing pretty well so far. He's got the next beanbag into the cup and he's really pressing it down this time. He says, is there any sellotape to try and put it in the end? I don't think that's going to help. Right, second time, out rolls the putt and it's coming up. Remember, we're not allowed to touch the target as such. We don't mind it so like balancing and tapping. He's off the end this time and he hasn't flicked up. Good man. Right, we're coming up to the centre of the target. He's taken his time, and I tell you, at this distance, it is actually hard to see whether that cup is over the target centre or not. Slight touch there, but the ref didn't call it. He's got it in. Excellent. Back comes the pole. Back on. You've got to ship it all the way back. And now he's got to pick up the plug. He's taking his time. He's making sure that's well and truly back. Lost a few precious seconds there. And he does do a little bit of coarse fishing occasionally. So I think he's going to have this down pretty good. Oh, he's going for the underarm pendulum cast. Bang, and it's in the centre. Excellent. First go. Remember, you've got to reel it back. And it seems like Terry in the background there is helping him out with the pole, keeping it out the way. Or whether he's scuffing him or handicapping, because it's going to be his turn next, I think. Right, out comes the fly rod. And in! He's done it! First chuck! That's why he's a champion. Good man. Let's have a look to see how his time fares against everybody else. Right, and there's the leaderboard. Let's see if he's beaten the other two. Look at that! He's in at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Excellent work. Well done, Mr. Mark Williams. You take the top position of our leaderboard. Fantastic.
Well done, Mark. Top of the leaderboard. Keep that Welsh flag flying. Now the pressure is on me. It's time for the Vineyard 120 Challenge.
Today's 120 challenge is based at Garn Food Fishery. Just let me remind you, I have 120 minutes to turn up to a fishery, tie the flies that I'm going to fish with them, and try and catch a fish. So, our friends at Vineyard have given us the materials. Which one am I going to pick? Silver, red? I've got to go for red for whales. Before seeing the contents, I have to start the clock. So here we go. 2 hours is started. And let's see what goodies they put. Thank you, Vineyards. So let's see what is in here. Yeah, right, okay. One full bird. It's a French partridge, all the way from France. What am I gonna do with that? Right, first fly I'm gonna tie is a shipman's buzzer. And the reason for that is I've seen a lot of fish supping on the water. So I had a quick scan around, seeing the fish just taking flies in the surface and talking to a few anglers. So first thing is use the lighter parts of the French partridge in the tail and as breathers in the head. And then just simple and easy, use the olive brown seal's fur just dubbed onto the body. So there you go, my version of the shipman's buzzer. The next fly is the simplest fly you're ever going to tie. That's all it is some seal's fur dubbed onto a hook. So get a bed of silk all the way down or halfway down, and then just twist in the seal's fur and work it back up to the head. I've tied this one really, really short. Again, normally I'd be tying them on smaller hooks, but as Vineyard have only given us the size 14, then that's what I'm going to tie, but I'm going to tie it short. The next fly is my variation of a pheasant tail. And yes, normally you do use a pheasant tail, but we haven't got any in the back, so I'm using a French partridge, the longer piece as a tail. Then have to wind around in the body, but again the feathers are rather short, so I had to do that twice, and then dub in some seal's fur in the thorax and the wing case again with the French partridge. And the last fly I'm tying is a buzzer, a black buzzer, which is ideal on any water, but you really do need a contrasting cheek colour. But unfortunately in the whole package there wasn't any bright colour. We did have some Glow Bright chenille, but that wouldn't have done as a cheek for a buzzer. So a little bit of ingenuity. Well, see that nice red envelope? They never said anything about nicking something. It was what was inside the envelope. I'm sure the envelope counts as well. And just cut a little bit of red off it, tie it in on the side of the thorax, and the buzzer is complete. There you go, 4 flies tied with 1 hour 37 left on the clock to catch a fish. Few olives coming off, and that fish just so confident. He's just took it right off the top. I was fishing in the surface with the other fly. I'm now going to put it right on the surface. Man, look at these fish, they're everywhere. 1 hour, 13 minutes left. And I'll put that buzzer out because they might be taking off the top. But as a mate of mine once said, for every one that's on the top, there's half a dozen underneath looking up. So, bung, buzzer. Ah! I've lost the whole lot. What? The only buzzer I tied. Oh. No, 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 no. This could be a trip back to the vice now. Man, oh man, oh man. It's a right mess. So the 2 flies that I've got left to go on. And the reason is that fish just took, as I was retrieving, it wasn't a typical bung type. So I'm just gonna whack him in the middle there. Oh, he's had a look at the fly. You turn. Come on, don't take it. Don't just turn on it. I'm in 2 minds. I either want to go over in the meadow, because nobody's fished on the meadow for a while. That was my fish from my fly. Or I don't really want to go too far from there, so if I want to nip back and tie a fly. Here we go. Just down the side of the reeds. Now then, stay on, stay on, stay on, stay on, please, 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 please. It is. It's a tiger. Challenge complete, and we wait till you see this fish. It is stunning. I thought you threw him off. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 14 seconds left. Stunning fish. And I am so glad that you like that little nymph like that. That's just, oh, there he goes, straight away, got him. Yeah! This challenge is getting too easy. Should it be the 60-minute challenge? No, definitely not. Losing that 1 fish, ooh, not good, but finally achieved it. But now it's time to go to Hooked on YouTube.
Charlie Jacoby here. This is my weekly roundup of the best fishing on YouTube. Viewer Dragon of the East Blue, not his real name of course, recommends Tim Galati aka Serene Skyline. He is especially keen on his bass lure fishing films. Great to watch when you want to relax, he says. Staying in North America, 2014 opening trout weekend Northern Pennsylvania is living for the outdoors' season starter with big trout in high numbers and an extraordinary colour. Is that natural? While we're on salmonids, let's go salmon fishing on the River Mourne in Northern Ireland with the redoubtable John Horsey. He is on the Barons Court estate in County Tyrone with head gillie Robert Freeborn. I've been there. Back to Europe and imperial fishing. Carp guiding with Julian Jurkovic has a 20-kilogram carp on the line that he says is his big Easter egg. Are you a carpaholic? Easter specimen hunting part 1 carp and catfish has Tom and Alex heading to Tanyard Specimen Lake 3 to hunt down some of the huge fish it holds. Dizzy Fish UK is kayak fishing for bream in this film. He catches 7, 2 of them over 3 pounds and 1 a useful 4 pounds 2 ounces. Nice to see one of my favourite fishing channels doing well. Join Simon Taylor on the penultimate day of the river season for 2014 fishing for pike using what he calls a mobile static approach. Surely that's an oxymoron. Leapfrogging his way down the water 1 rod at a time. And finally, here is a film of what must be a giant shark defeating 2 anglers. After 50 minutes, it straightens the hook. Click on the links to watch the videos or you will find them in this film's description. If you would like to send in a video for Hooked on YouTube, ping me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv.
Well folks, that's it for another week. Just time to tell you of a new section. It's called Hookers. This is where you can get involved. When you're out fishing, take a short video. Tell us who you are, where you're fishing and what you've hooked. And then post it into the link below. Well, that's it for another week, folks. If you enjoyed the programme, please share it with all your friends. Hit that subscribe button. And if you want to keep up to date with all the other programmes on the channel, go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, and fill out that constant contact form. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. I'll see you next week on Fishing Britain.